Hey everyone, it's Mike from Orderflows and welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you could join me for today's video. I'll be discussing the order flow that took place today. You know, actually before the market closed, some people, some pretty prominent people that I follow on Twitter were commenting on how bearish the order flow looked like, not just for today, but sort of overall in market conditions. It's sort of crashy in a way. Now, I'm not trying to predict that there's going to be a market crash or anything like that, but their comment was that it really felt very shaky in the sense of there's just no buyers out there. And I talk about a few of the interesting things that I thought was interesting in the order flow today. And again, I'm not trying to cherry pick things. I'm just going through, the interesting order flow. Sometimes I put these videos up there, it kills me. People say, well, you got to show, your trading accounts and all that stuff. I'm just trying to show you what was interesting in the order flow, right? It's whether you want to take it and use it in your order flow. That's the whole point of my channel, right? Is to educate people and teach them what to look for in the order flow. Because to be honest, if you're new to order flow, it's confusing, it's daunting, because there's a lot of numbers here, and some numbers matter more than others, okay? Because I think people have, are averse to looking at numbers, math phobia or whatever. My kids have that for sure. But yeah, let's take a look at the order flow. So, just really quick on a bar chart, right? We were just coming into the cash open and we just started making new lows, bounced up, and then we had, basically all day down. We did get a couple bounces, like here around 11 o'clock. We rallied from this low at 7 all the way up to 20, 24. Sold back down, getting small. That was pretty much the big bounce right after the one after the open. But we had a nice little bounce here, but not much. Again, you're talking 1 1/4 up to 9 1/2. So just about was that about 8 1/4 points, and then we just kept selling off, and got through some psychological levels, 4,400. 4,450 is not even on this chart here. This is 4,450 right here. Okay, so always keep an eye out on those psychological levels. I want to discuss those. And it was interesting because yesterday we had a big rally, if you remember, right? All day we were just pretty much, after the cash open, about 30 minutes, started making new highs, and it was off to the races going up. And then even after the close, after the cash close, right here, we got that big move back up into the 70s, before the futures closed, and then reopened for the next session. So let's take a look at today's order flow and sort of dissect it, if you will. So let's take a look here. Okay, so again, cash open. We open on our, well, not open on our lows, but we open right near our lows and touch the low. Next bar, next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next 6 minutes, just keep making new lows. Okay, so that was bearish in its own right, obviously. But that's not going to predict, a 70-point sell-off in the S&Ps. Now, we did hit this low down here at 451. Then we got a nice rally, honestly. We got this nice rally all the way up to 68 3/4. I just thought it was interesting on how the market stopped up here around 68 1/4. I do have these two areas on here, which were some prominent point of controls being referenced from earlier, prior to the cash opening. But on this move up, right, it was a decent move, right? I mean, you're seeing, we got this nice value area that's untested, and, we come down, sort of test the low, get within a tick of the low, and then we got nice aggressive buying coming in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buying imbalances, a gap in the value between these two bars, going up. Again, it's picking up a head of steam. But one thing that I found shaky is the delta in here, okay? Because I always like to watch deltas on moves, because one of the signs of a move that's sort of weakening, right, if this is a move up, and it is, because we're coming up from our lows here at the 51 area, we're trading, almost 15 points higher up here, and yeah, you got nice buying here, 960 in the delta, 673, 232, so it's still positive, but it's sort of going in the opposite direction that you would like to see, right? You'd rather see it be like 232 here in this bar as opposed to 960, 673, 960. Okay, you want to see the delta keep expanding, positive. I mean, it's still positive, but it's just not as strong. Then you get up here and you got, negative delta, positive delta, negative delta. Minus 592 plus 627. This is sort of your blow off up here. Then minus 663. So, these two sort of cancel each other out in a way, minus 592 plus 627. Then you got 663 negative. Okay, max delta is just 1, so it's quite small. And then again, more negative delta, minus 574. Then you get a small delta, minus 7. Again, I'm not reading much into the minus 7. That's a small number. I mean, you know, this is a 1 minute chart. So if there was, you know, an extra nanosecond, it could have been positive 5 or something. So again, I'm not putting too much weight in the negative delta just because it's minus 7. Then you get a bar with positive delta, 677. And it's one of those things that's got you sort of shaking your head like, okay, is this market going to start? Is this a pullback, right, from this high? Is this a pullback? So I know I've got resistance up here at 80, actually 69 and a quarter. Okay, so if I'm going to rally, right, I know I'm going to run into some resistance up here, but we don't, right? We don't build off that delta. We got next bar positive 16 delta. It doesn't even go any higher. It ends up being a red candle, right? Then you get this nice gap in the value between this bar's value area low and this bar's value area high. You even got a stacked selling imbalance in there, and you've got 6 selling imbalances coming in here. Okay, so it's quite strong negative. Then again, another strong negative delta, 792, 379, 400, another gap in value here. Okay, then you make the new low, negative delta, 1286. That's what you're expecting to see, right? You're going into lows, you want to see negative delta, and you want to see a strong negative delta. The minus 1286 was, you know, pretty strong, you know, in the last 15, 20 minutes. Okay, I mean, you know, when I look at deltas, I compare, is 1286 strong? You know, I'm comparing it to what's happening in recent history. I'm not going to parse it and say, well, at 843, you know, it traded 1710, so it's not that strong. You know, it's strong, because I'm just comparing it to sort of the last 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, then you get, you know, a couple of bars, small green, you know, one green bar, and what do we got here? A positive delta on this red candle. But what's interesting is 4450, right? A psychological level. Okay, there's not much volume going through here. I mean, there's 856, 355 at 9 3/4. So it got through there. You know, I was kind of expecting to see over 1,000 on the bid. Okay, but then, you know, it traded back up. You know, the bar closed up here at 2051 and a quarter. And then, you know, some more bidding came in there at 4450. You see the 641 traded there, got down through there. Okay, you know, there's some bids coming in here at 4450. You know, and the next bar is green. So, you know, I'm watching to see if it comes back down to 4450, what's going to happen, right? Because, to be honest, this volume that's coming in here, the 856, 348, 641, 523, you know, that's, you know, again, one of your stronger volumes coming in down here at the low. You know, again, psychological level. We come down through it, and somebody just sweeps right through the 50s, right? They take out the 139 that was there, 40 and 64, right? You don't have a selling imbalance of the 139 because it's 139 against 17, but you got 40 against 0, 64 against 1. How do I know that's a sweep? Is because there's no counter trade. Okay, so it's coming through what I feel is a psychological level of 4450, and it sweeps through there. To me, that's a good sign, right? If anything, I'd sort of be excited. I'm more happy that it's come down and broke through it on some sign of aggressive selling. Obviously, a strong negative delta, minus 1410. And we just keep making new lows, okay? Divergence that fails, right? Then you get down here to 1 1/4, okay? And then this was interesting because, you know, I'm always looking for, when you're making new lows, where's the size coming in to the market? Notice it's not coming in at 41. It's coming in basically around 1 1/4, 1.5. Okay, that's interesting. You see 813, 415, 670. Sorry, 349, 830. Yeah, right. 1.5, 1 1/4. 813, 415, 531, 670, 469, 1081. So 1,500, another 1,000, 2,500. 2,500, 3,500, so close to 4,000 contracts going through at 1 1/4. Okay, that's decent. Is it going to hold or not? It doesn't. It breaks right through. You got the exposed value area right here where it doesn't get tested in the next bar. So yes, you're seeing a lot of selling, right? Because remember, if there's technical levels, psychological levels, but the market is flow driven, it's just going to blow right through those levels, right? It's not going to respect levels as it would if it was just a normal trading day, right? I don't want to say normal distribution, but just sort of, normal trading conditions. There's something bigger taking place, and this is coming in, even in here, this is already trading at 41, right? Again, there's still more of the move to be had. But what I want to talk about next, right? So again, if I see strong areas where I think there should be strong support coming in, and the market's just sort of getting right through that with impunity, then I'm starting to think that, hey, you know what? We could be looking at a trend day, a flow-driven market. But I want to talk about this bounce, right? You got a nice bearish prominent point of control sticking out there. The bounce that took place around 11, right? Because it was a decent bounce. Again, anytime you're making lows, you always want to be looking for a reason to buy potentially, right? But again, on a flow-driven day, you might not get a reason, right? Because to be honest, whenever you're making these lows, there's not a lot really of bullish order flow going through, right? So there's nothing really to talk about these lows. I mean, yeah, you have a divergence. I remember years ago, one of my customers was having lunch with him, or dinner rather, and he was telling me that some guy had this secret system on reading order flow. They wanted to sell them for how many thousands of dollars, and all it was just this. It was a divergence. It was a new low with positive delta. And he knows, my customer knows, and I know that that's not a system, right? All that is just basically you have buying coming in at a low, right? And why would you have buying coming in at a low? Well, it could be a number of reasons. Right? It could be profit taking, right? Everyone that was short from above all of a sudden has got to, they want to take some money off the table. There's going to be some aggressive buying coming in. But let's take a look at this bounce off this low, because this was a halfway decent bounce, right? It went from 07, got as high as I think 20, almost 24. It is 24 and a quarter right here before it reversed and started selling off again. But on this move up, right, we hit the low. We still got negative delta. And it's positive, 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 negative, positive, 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 right? And we're seeing, stacked buying imbalance coming in here. Although it's kind of weak, right? It's 39, 34, 115. You got the value area that's not tested until, a few minutes later, and then it's still rallying. So, these two bars, you got some nice bullish information. We didn't quite get down. We got as low as that was 07, right? And in my head, I'm thinking 4400 is a psychological level, right? The big, as we would say on the trading floor, the figure. And so they start rallying back up, get all the way up to, get into the 20s, 18 to 20s, start going sideways. And then when we get up here, okay, around this 24-ish area, right? I've got the bearish slingshot point of control. That's this right here, this red point of control. I've got this bearish regular point of control. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 selling imbalances. And then it comes right back up, right? Bullish prominent point of control, gap in value. Thinking, oh, okay, maybe this was just a little bit of a pullback. Because this is a nice size gap here in the value between this bar and this bar, right? Value area high is 20, value area low here is 1.5. Then the next bar goes inside. That's not what you like to see. Anytime you have sort of a big bar, like an expansion bar, if you will, then the next bar is kind of a doji and it goes inside. This is a doji, I know, because it's gray. It's telling me that, open and close at the same price. And it's inside of the previous bar, right? An inside bar. But more importantly, this one's inside of the previous bar's value area, right? Which is not a good sign. So and it's got positive delta, 760, right? So, this looks like, hey, you know what? Maybe it's all systems go. But I know that I got this slingshot point of control here at 23.5. I've got this bearish prominent point of control at 23. Okay, these are sort of my resistance areas. I want to watch how the market reacts to it. It does get through, but then it just goes sideways. and then it kicks off a nice bearish value area here, right? How do I know it's bearish? Well, it's because it's not tested in the next bar. That's why this zone is being drawn out. Come back up, get within one tick, a single print here. Okay, but more importantly, what do I see? I see a red candle, the buying imbalance. Okay, in here I got a doji candle with 2 buying imbalances. Got another red candle here with 2 buying imbalances. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 selling imbalances in this red candle. And I got 2 buying imbalances. Right? When I see buying imbalances like this, it's a sign to me, just like this one up here, that I have supply coming into the market. So we had just hit a low at 07, rallied, 17 handles up to 24, was going sideways. I had some bullish order flow coming in here, honestly, but it just went inside bar, inside bar, inside bar. Now you're starting to break down, right? The 3 insides. That's a nice pattern. You don't see a lot of them, but inside of this bar here. But anyway, then it breaks out, and now I see signs in the order flow of supply coming into the market. Okay, so and at this point you're trading around, 15 and 3/4, 16. Getting short at 14, I think, is a safe bet, and it just starts going sideways, right? I said get short here at 14 if you could. Then finally it breaks down. But as it breaks down, what do we got? We got actually a bearish prominent point of control and a bearish slingshot point of control here. The value area is not tested in the next bar, right? We start to sell off, rally back up, test this area, and then work our way back down to new lows. Okay, but over here, what else do you see, right? If you've been watching my videos recently, just in this little time between 1150 and this bar here at 1156, well, we see a few things, right? We see this exhaustion print 1 here, right? We see the thin print in here 1 and 1, 7 and 6, right? So you got thin volumes coming in here and here. That exhaustion print as you're coming back in to test the resistance level is bearish, right? So we had some nice bearish order flow. But let's get back to, I wanted to just touch really quick on this level here. This is how I knew that there wasn't going to be much support in the market. If it could break 4,400, we could get another, a strong push down. 4,400, to me, I love round numbers, right, in the market. They're great reference points. Came down here, 4400. It's only 450 there. That's nothing. That's like normal volume in the E-minis. Wasn't like 1,500 or 2,000. It was nothing. It's 454. So it got through that extremely quick. Now, granted, it's going into the close, right? It's already 237 at this time. And what happens, right? 4400, just draw your line here. I hit F5 instead of F6. Trying to get all fancy here, but just give it a second for the chart to come back up. But here, right, let's draw it now, F6, right, that's your line, right, 4,400. To me, again, it's a level, right? I don't use necessarily a lot of levels, but, to me, that's a psychological, the whole numbers have always been psychological levels to me. Whether you want to use it or not, up to you. But I always watch it, how the market reacts to those levels. And we don't even come back up. We get within, a tick here, and we just keep selling off. More supply coming into the market and just more negative order flow coming through, right? Just by watching the deltas, I remember last week somebody made a comment, delta doesn't matter anymore. Well, I don't know. I think it does, right? I showed you the importance of that early rally that failed just by looking at the delta, okay? So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'm still, I'm here in Chicago, and a lot of the U.S. is going through, some severe weather. Over today it was only about 102 or something, but there's other places down south. The guy's been in triple digits for a while now, but my computers, I run them all day long, and it's freaking hot. But I am going through your comments. I'm going to put out some videos on them within the next couple of days. I'm just I got aircon going full blast and all that, but it's just uncomfortable right now due to the weather. Tomorrow it's going to drop 20 degrees back down into the 80s. So anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next video and see you later. Bye bye.